All right. And so this will actually be a good insight into what you'll see from home. Because when you are home on Mondays and Thursdays and Fridays, you are going to be seeing an image very similar to what you're about to see up here. Okay. Granted, for the most part, I will not have the lights off, okay, because that way it's a little easier to see. You'll see me down there, or you'll at least have a video down there in the bottom right, and what you'll see up here will be our PowerPoints that we're going to be doing in class, okay? All this is being recorded, and so you will see exactly what you see up here while you're at home, all right? Now, typically, when it comes to doing board work, I obviously do it on the board, but that's not going to be the easiest case when it comes to recording lessons. So instead, I have this whiteboard, which I'll be doing a lot of the work on there. As you can see, it's mine. I have my name on it. You can get my name on it there. I gave it to Mr. Trippy. So I'll be doing that, and then I'll simply just take my camera and I'll tilt it down, and you should be able to see exactly what I'm doing there. Okay? So, again, it's going to be a very fluid process. If I see that's just not working out, then I'll change it up. Okay? And again, I'm going to forget to actually move this camera all the time. So if you could very nicely remind me to do so, that'd be great. All right, the purpose of today is kind of going over some class rules, procedures, kind of how I'm going to play things out early on, see where we go from there, okay? And classes are only 37 minutes, so not long to really get a whole lot of stuff going on. So, kind of as your entry procedure, when you come in here, get to your desk. These are going to be your desks for the foreseeable future. All right? Come in, get some hand sanitizer, get your stuff you need for your day, and eventually I'm going to have you start putting your book bags up here. Okay? But today we're going to be getting a lot of stuff handed out to you, so today's fine. So, but tomorrow you want to come in here and do that. Put your bags up here out of the way, okay? Things that you will need on a daily basis, especially in the first semester, okay? You need to have, I would say, a binder, okay? And I have the syllabus here we're going to go over in just a moment, and it has all this stuff listed. Calculator. That is a must for this first semester. I am not going to be allowing students to borrow my calculators like in years past for obvious reasons, okay? So, a basic scientific calculator is sufficient, okay? You don't have to get a fancy one. Just as long as you are able to do exponential values and stuff like that in parentheses, that's really the gist of our calculations. First semester, at least through chapters 5, a little bit of 6, very little bit of 6, but 1 through 5 is for sure 100% math oriented. Okay, so make sure that we're doing that. I will give you every which way in terms of solving these mathematical problems to you. Okay, we do lots of examples in here. All right, but with this little caveat, okay? Who can tell me the name of this class? A little louder, Drake. Honors chemistry. Okay? Now, is this a regular 4-weight class? No, this is a 5-weight class. Okay? It's got that label honors. Okay? With that comes a little bit of additional responsibility. Okay, and what I mean by that is I'm going to be assigning work that you can do kind of at your own pace. I will tell you what homework and what problems. I'll talk to you a little bit about that too, depending on how much time we have. I'll talk to you about that in a little bit, but I'm going to give you kind of a deadline. It's usually about a week or so, maybe a little longer given the circumstances here. But I'm going to give you a list of problems at the very beginning of each chapter. I'm going to tell you what grouping of problems that you'll need to do by a given date. So you can work on at your own time. Okay, some of you probably are soon getting a job, or you have other things going on outside of school that you might not be able to get to anything in a particular night or two, and that's fine. I understand that. I was the same way. Okay, but it's up to you to make sure you get that work done. And all these problems are going to be coming out of the back of your book. Okay, so also with that being an honors class, you have to break away in some of these lessons that we're going to learn. We got to break away from our typical thought process. We got to really think kind of outside the box. I know it's probably a cliched term, okay, but you have to think outside the box to solve some of these things here. You might have to say, oh, this is related back to what we learned back in chapter 2, if we're talking about something in chapter 4. Okay? So, again, we usually only get through 5 chapters in the first semester. So you got to think about it. The first semester is 20 weeks. We spend a great deal amount of time on these first 5 chapters. Okay, and the book that we use, it's you'll see they've been kind of run through the ringer, but they are fantastic books. Each chapter, each section is full of really amazing information. It's really easy and straightforward to read. It's got excellent graphics with information. It's got little additional pieces within each chapter that kind of builds upon what you've covered, how you can see it in the real life. And another thing, these are college level textbooks. You're going to find out that those are probably the best textbooks you've ever had because of their length at which they explain things. Okay? So, because yes, it is an honors class and you are going to be expected a little bit more of you, don't let that scare you off. Okay? Each and every one of you are here because you were decided by not only yourself but your teachers that you could do this. Will it be frustrating at times? Possibly. Okay? But don't let that discourage you because I'm here whenever you need help. Whether if it's Thursdays and Fridays, send me a quick email. Okay? If you're in school, don't be hesitant to raise your hand. Okay? That's what we're here for. Now, what we're going to do here is I'm going to hand out some information to you. Okay? I've got chapter 1's materials ready to be handed out. I'm going to wait till next week. Okay? I'm going to wait till next week. Okay, you are first hour. All right? I would put your name at the top of this. That way you will know who's whose. Because it is without a doubt a common issue every year. Someone always leaves it behind. I have no idea whose it is. And we'll go over this here once I get everything out. Okay. Just a few more things to give you. Okay. The next thing I'm handing out is maybe just a little sheet for if you ever heard of Google Meets. If you have not heard of Google Meets, basically it's like Zoom, except it's built in to Google Classroom. So the Google Classroom that you have for here already, I don't know if it has got a link there or not. I can't remember. I was kind of playing around with it the other day. I can't remember if it's this class or some other class. But all you have to do is, if I say, you know what, these video recordings probably aren't the best for this particular lesson, we're going to do Google Meets. All you have to do is at your normal class time, so 8:15, a couple minutes before that, you'll want to get on there, get on your computer. You want to get booted up into Google Classroom, and then there's just a little code that I can show you here. Classroom. Has everybody been able to log on to Google Classroom? Excellent. So yes, so
good morning. This is just a reminder to all the teachers, please share the network password for those who brought their own devices. Again, please share the network name and password so that all students who brought their own device can get on Wi-Fi. Thank you.
Okay. I'll do that here in a little bit, okay, if you haven't already done it yet. But anyway, you'll see up here, when you enter your classroom, there'll be a link right here. You'll just click on that, and then you'll hit Join Now. But you cannot join unless I'm already on there. Okay, so you can hit Join Now, but you won't be let into the meeting until I join. Okay? Again, new to me. Might take a little bit of practice to get used to it, but we'll make her work. Anyway, those are that list I gave you, and I'll give to any of the remote learners as well. I'll put it on Google Classroom as well once I get an opportunity to scan it. It's just a list of expectations when we do a Google Meet. All right, so just keep that handy. Same concept or expectations you would have in a classroom. Obviously, make sure you have the proper attire on. Try to refrain from eating and drinking, and mute yourself. You don't have to have your camera on, but mute yourself until you have a question, then you can ask it then. Okay. So I'm giving you your syllabus and your Google Meets. Next thing I'm giving you is the COVID-19 syllabus addendum. Okay, new for this year. Okay, really, it's just a brief rundown about what we're going to be doing during this particular time in our history of education. Okay, again, a lot of it is stuff that I have already given to you in my messages on Google Classroom. But one of the main things you want to take away from this handout is every day, check your email, check Classroom. Now, really, you should do that every day, but especially on your remote days, okay? Because that's where everything's going to be communicated through, okay? Any questions on that? And I've got periodic tables I'm going to hand out to you next week, okay? We'll just do it that way and then go from there. Next is the exciting part, your decision, your choice of textbook, okay? Over here, your book is going to be on the right-hand side. Again, some are in much better condition than others, but they're going to look like this, okay? So I'm going to have you one at a time go up, take a book, and you're going to tell me the number that's on the bottom. I'm going to record it, and then once you've got your book, you may sit down. Olivia, I'm going to send you a name. Go ahead and pick out a book. What's your book number? 500. What is the condition? Okay, Drake. What is your number?
28.
28. Condition?
It's all right.
All right. All right. Colton. Number? No? Open up the inside. Is there one there? 511. Condition? Alyssa? $400?
Yep.
Okay. Condition? And Matthew. I wonder if my air conditioning's working. I am just sweating up here. Number? 275. Condition?
Not great.
Not great. All right. Excellent. So you are to bring those books every day to class. Okay? Typically throughout chapters, I assign sections for you to read and take notes on. I'm going to do that again this year. But again, my method of checking to make sure you did that is going to be a little different. I've come up with an idea. I just have not 100% put that into play. Okay? Anyway, what I want you to do is take your textbooks and open up to page. Now, we're not doing any work today. I just want to show you some of this information. Let's look at page. I forgot what number. All right. How about page 1? It's going to have a big old triangle on there. All right. Right there. Cool. All right. So each of your chapters going to look very similar to this in terms of the title of chapter. And then if you look over on the left-hand side, it gives you a breakdown. It says 1.1, 1.2, gives the name of the sections, and also what's ahead. What are you going to be looking at as your main topic in each section? It's always a great thing to take a look at before each chapter. Now, as we go through here, if you turn to page 20, on the left-hand side, you'll see a gray box, okay, labeled Sample Exercise 1.4. These sample exercises are what we do all the time, okay? They give us a sample question of a topic that was just covered. It shows you the explanation and steps to solving that problem. And then below there's practice exercise. We do that as a class. So we get another problem, but then we get to work on it together, all right? When it comes to quizzes and tests, going back and looking at these sample exercises is a huge deal, okay? These are great questions. They tell you step by step, like I said. They are always a good thing to study before a quiz or a test. Always, always, always. Okay? And again, on the next page, page 21, on the right-hand side, you see you've got images here. Always look at those when you're reading and taking notes. Okay? They might even give a little bit of additional information. All right. One last thing I want to do is have you open to page 30. All right. So on page 30, this is the end of chapter 1. Okay? You'll notice that towards the bottom of page 30, you'll have a section called Visualizing Concepts. And then on the right-hand side of page 31, you'll see a section called Exercises, and they go for a couple pages. Okay. You'll see numbers like 1.9. Find 1.9. Question 1.9 in your textbook. Okay. That would be what I call a question from your problem set. Okay. When you get your problem set next week, the numbers correspond to these numbers. Okay. So I have them all listed out for you. I'll tell you, like I said, I'll tell you when we are done or what we're going to go to in a particular time frame, and then you just cross them off as we go. But another little secret, towards the back of these books are the answers to the odd questions. And for 90% of the questions throughout the year, for your problem set, I ask odd number questions. Okay? I do that so you can check your work, not so you can copy. Because when you turn in your work for the problem sets, and any time in my classroom that you are doing math, it is required that you show your work. You can't just write the answer. Okay? Because how I grade math questions, showing your work is part of the points that you get for that question. So you might, typically my math questions are worth 4 points. I'm going to say it right now. Typically they're worth 4 points. You get 2 points for attempting the question. Pretty sweet, right? The reason why I do that, you wouldn't believe how many times I've had a question just be left blank. Try. That's what I want you to do. I want you to try. Okay? You get another point, so 3 so far, for showing your work. And you get a point for the correct answer with the correct label. Okay? That's another thing. I'm a stickler for labels. Okay? So, 4 points total. If you attempt it, 2 points. If you get the right answer, another point. But if you don't show any work, you don't get a total of 4 points. Okay? So make sure you show your work. Real quick, because really in like 7 minutes, we probably need to start disinfecting our desks. I just want to go over a few things here. Where is it? There it is. The syllabus here. And most likely, we are going to probably talk a little more about this tomorrow as well. But one other thing, as part of your everyday habits of coming into my classroom, you enter here. You're getting your stuff out. You look back here, very back in the room. I typically will have, by your first day in here, everything set up for what we're doing this week. Okay, again, you are group AA. Okay, so today we're going over syllabus and class procedures. Tomorrow we're going to have a first day assignment in classroom. If you have a device, okay, again, you are allowed to bring your own device. That really means like an iPad or a Chromebook. Okay, if you have one of those, please bring it to school daily. Okay, because a lot of the small stuff I'm going to be doing will be online and probably done in class. Okay, if you don't have that, let me know prior to, and I could probably scrounge 1 or 2 up, or maybe even 3 up before class period for you to use. Please have to remember to disinfect it. Okay, that's why if you bring your own, you don't always have to disinfect it between every class period. Anyway, tomorrow we're going to be doing a first day assignment that is going to be on classroom. Okay, really, it's just a simple first assignment to get your first points. Tell me a little bit about yourself. All right. But anyway, check that so you know what's happening this week. I'll do my best to do it weekly in terms of sending out the schedule to you on Mondays or maybe even on Sundays so you know what's going on. Because I'll tell you what, you might try to go to my plan book. If you're one of those students who likes to go to the teacher's link and go to the plan book, don't. Okay? Plan book right now is a mess because right now I'm just kind of taking bits and pieces off of that and trying to work with what I can. Okay? Anyway, so some of the rules here. You'll see up here on the board. Be respectful. No inappropriate language, no name calling, wear appropriate clothes. Again, cell phones not allowed unless indicated. Okay. No food or drinks. Again, that's kind of a school rule. If you're going to have water in here, water only. It's got to be in a clear container. But more specifically for in the laboratory, I've got when we do labs, how we're going to do labs, that's still up for debate. But there are chemicals in this classroom. You don't know if any chemicals have gotten on your desk or on a lab station or anywhere. You don't want to have any food in here, okay? Be prepared, meaning make sure you have everything for that class. Again, you're not going to your lockers daily, so you should have everything you need, hopefully, in your bag. So you should have your homework finished. If you're going to turn in homework, hard copy, make sure it's finished. Be prepared for quizzes and tests. Again, don't sit there and go, oh my gosh, we got a test or a quiz. You're going to know a week in advance, basically, because I'm going to have it up there. Be on time. Again, things are a little different right now, but try to be in your seat by the time the bell rings here so we can get started. Using the restroom, please ask me before you do anything, or if you know you're going to be late, come tell me. But you must, anytime you leave my room to go to the restroom, you must sign out. Contact tracing, okay? And we're not using the passes anymore, which is good because I think my last one got stolen last year, so I don't have it. But one thing I'd like to do here in terms of be prepared is, a lot of teachers, and I'm one of them, if you don't come to class with your proper materials, you're often considered tardy because you're not here on time for class. I do have a little way around that. Some of you may have heard about this method already, but I like to keep things rather, lighthearted. And if I give you the option, taking tardy is kind of a big deal. You don't want to take a tardy, okay, for classes, but you can bypass having a tardy assigned to you if you come up here and belt out about 2 to 3 lines of a song. You're gonna do a karaoke style. I'll pick the song. I'll put the words and lyrics up on the board. So if you don't happen to know a song, you can look up here and do your best. Okay? You can't sit here and whisper the song. You gotta sing it. You gotta sing it, and then no more tardy. Okay? Again, it's just a way to have fun. All right. So we'll come across that when we get there. Just a few minutes left. Like I said, we'll do this tomorrow. Classroom management plan. I highly doubt that I'm going to have any issues with you kids in this group here. Okay. But again, here's what you can expect. Absences. This will be the last thing we talk about here. Then we'll kind of actually, you know what? Mark this. We're going to come back to absences tomorrow. Let's talk about materials. Okay, that way you can have it if you don't already have it for tomorrow. It is a pretty good idea to be organized in here because you're going to be given lots of papers, lots of information. You're going to be doing a lot of stuff and turning it in. Okay, Throwing notebook, I would say about 2 inches, probably pretty good. You want to have loose leaf or notebook in there. Highlighters if you want. Again, scientific calculator, just nothing real crazy. Blue or black pen, number 2 pencil. Pencils, obviously, because we're doing math, you want to do that. And your textbook. Okay, these are all things you should probably have on a daily basis. All right. We still got a few minutes left. I'll go back to absences. Talk real late. Okay. Late work is only going to be accepted if you were absent that day. Okay? And I am not going to come track you down if you are absent. Okay? Obviously, in a normal year, I have about 120 students that I have to keep track of. That's no good trying to track down people who are absent. Okay? If you know you were gone, which I hope you know you were gone a day, come see me the next time that you are in school to figure out what you need. Okay? If you're out 3 days, you're going to have 3 days to make that up and get it back to me some way, shape, or form. Okay? Also, if you miss a day before a quiz or a test, and you come back on the day of the quiz or test, be prepared to take the quiz or the test because you knew that you were going to have that coming up. Okay? Also, if you happen to miss school on the day of a quiz or a test, the next day that you come back to school, you will be taking that quiz or the test. Okay? Too many students like to miss it, like, oh, I wasn't here. I need an extra day. Well, no, you've had plenty of time. Okay? And you're also going to be taking all of your materials home with you every single day because you're not using your lockers. So that is no reason to not take it. Okay? But always come check with me. Okay? We'll stop there. Okay? I'm going to end my recording so you can put your stuff away.